Hey Mom. So this might seem a little strange to you, but this is the best way that I can explain all of what's happening to you. And in order to fully explain this, I'm going to be looking up and down because I'm reading this off of my computer from something I wrote. So one of the first things I know you're going to say when you see me is, why'd you cut your hair again? It looks so nice, that kind of thing. I can bet you like $5 that's gonna be the first thing you really say to me when I walk into your door with Carrie. Anyway, to fully explain this, I'm gonna bring you back to the beginning, to my childhood. So bear with me. I know this is a little strange, but please continue to watch this and listen. Oh, would you look at that? Nick and I are out playing in the yard like we often do. We're driving little toy cars through the dirt. We have probably over 100 little cars parked in different places across the front lawn. Nick, of course, has all the cooler cars. He tricked me, like he tended to do, being the older sibling and all. I was helpless in the choice and fell for each and every one of his, "Oh, you want that car? Well, no, you really want this car. This one's cooler," phrases that he plucked as he plucked the better, less rickety cars out of the purple bin we had. We were both in shorts and t-shirts, our knees stained with the green of the grass and everything else that was covered in a thin layer of dusty dirt. An hour later, we're running and playing cops and robbers. Nick was the robber, and I always had to catch him, another one of his tricks. Of course, I never caught him. His legs were much longer than mine were, and he could run much faster than I could. Then we sit down and we create our own reality, our own stories with G.I. Joe action figures. All the Barbies were locked away in my closet, untouched. Skip forward. You and Jeff are now getting married, and I'm the flower girl, tossing flowers down the aisle as I walk to join you in the front. I ran out of flowers before reaching the front. That was my biggest fear at the wedding, and it came true. I don't remember much besides that. I remember wearing a dress. Maybe it was a black dress. I don't remember really the color or anything or the style. All I remember is that I hated it. It was so itchy. Growing up further, you and Dad never really forced me into dresses or skirts much. I don't remember having to wear many. The two skirts I remember wearing a little more willingly had shorts underneath. I could sit whichever way I wished when I wore them, just as I could when wearing shorts. I still preferred my shorts over them, though I tried wearing them here and there. Now Dad and Lori are getting married. They let us choose what we wanted to wear to their wedding. I wore a purplish blue SpongeBob shirt and shorts that were a similar color. I was happy with the choice. For as long as I can remember, as a child, when I gave in to the idea that maybe there was a God out there that would listen to my prayers, I prayed to him, wishing to be a boy. I prayed to him most nights, mixed prayers of being able to talk to animals and waking up the boy I always wished I could be. If I do my chores without complaining tomorrow, could you make me a boy for just one day? That's all I ask, one day, I'd beg. I never woke up as the boy I wished to be. I never told anyone about this wish, because what was the point? I'd tell someone I wished I was a boy, and that would be that. I wished to be a boy, but I wasn't. And that was that in my mind. I couldn't do anything about it. I was stuck with the body I was given at birth. Growing up, as you know, Lori never let me cut my hair out, or let me grow my hair out, and I hated it. Mainly I hated it because I was mistaken as a boy, and usually that happened with someone else, and it became really awkward really fast. I would get mistaken as a guy with Dad a lot, and he would make a joke out of it, trying to make it lighthearted, but it always bothered me. I always felt really awkward about it, because I knew that I was a girl, but I also knew that I didn't look like a girl, or at least I never looked like a girl to me, and just the misgendering all throughout my childhood was just, it always felt really awkward because I knew I was supposed to be a girl. The same thing happened with using bathrooms. I would be mistaken as a boy in the girls' bathroom and get weird looks. And once someone shouted. That was my junior year of high school. I walked into a girls' bathroom and someone thought I was a boy and she shouted. From this, I began to fear using public bathrooms. I could never predict if I could go in unscathed or not, so usually I'd hold it until I got home unless it was a one-toilet bathroom. In order to counteract this fear, I finally convinced Lori and Dad to let me grow my hair out, starting my junior year of high school. I was happy with this to an extent. I hated how long it would take me to do my hair in the morning, how I had to wake up an hour before going on the bus to straighten it, and before going to bed I had to straighten it as well. I hated the heat of it and how it swallowed my face. Looking in the mirror when I had long hair, it was hard to recognize myself. And junior to senior year was one of the main times in my life that I tried to be girly. You loved my long hair. It was something you had wished for me for endless years. I went to prom with Ben, my very first boyfriend. I wore a red dress and had people from your salon do my hair. There was too many pearls in my hair to even count in the end. Again, looking back on pictures of that night, I couldn't recognize myself in the red dress and updo. Though I wore no makeup, my face didn't look like my own. I unconsciously avoided mirrors the entire night. Getting out of that dress had to be one of the most relieving things I did. Ben asked for a kiss before he left back to Indiana after prom. A simple request, something easy to do when you've been dating someone for a year, but I couldn't do it. I realized I didn't like him like that. He wasn't the future I wanted, and the person that was with him was not the real me. My freshman year of college started up in August 2013. I was finally on my own and out of Lori and Dad's house for the first time in my life. I made new friends in the first few days. Day 4 of college, as you know, I cut off all my hair, and I hid it from you because I was afraid that you were going to get mad because you had wished for me to have long hair for so long. It made a pile the size of a poodle on my new friend's dorm room floor. I loved the new cut, though, even though I hid it from you. I found it funny that I had wished for long hair for so long, but once given the freedom, I cut it all off again. I had grown my hair out to avoid being mistaken as a boy, but once I entered college, I found I really didn't care about that anymore, or at least not as much. Logically, I told myself I cut it off because I didn't have the time to do it before class, and all that, and I didn't want to spend hours of my life straightening my mane, the thick hair that I had, so the short hair saved me lots of time. I think there was more to it, though. I had to wear a black dress named Francine to the band concerts my freshman year. They were horrendous. Everyone hated them, but I hated the dress a bit more, I think. It was the only dress I wore since my prom dress. I felt self-conscious in the thing. It felt wrong on my skin, and I desperately wished to be able to wear a tux like the boys in the band, but I sucked it up and wore Francine to all the concerts that year. I felt like I had no other choice. Freshman year, second semester, my friend Katie dressed my friend Aurora and I up as boys. She did our makeup to give us shadows of facial hair and more defined jawlines. We gelled our hair up and styled it in a more masculine way. My hair was something like this, but it was a little longer. Then we got into our more masculine clothing and walked around campus. We talked in lower voices and poor British accents. I don't remember the name that Aurora had, but I remember I was Mason. We walked with more confidence than ever before. Girls turned and looked at us, and we heard some whisper to friends complimenting us, asking who we were. We were no longer shadows hiding at the edge of campus. We were attractive, and we were noticed. We were able to talk to people easily, whereas usually we struggled with our social anxiety. After a few hours, we had to unwrap our breasts from the ace bandages and wash off the makeup and gel from our hair. We talked in the showers next to one another, mourning the loss of a confidence that felt so real but never could be. Or so we thought. We wished so desperately that we could have been born guys, but we weren't born guys, and that was that. Again, we never expressed this to anyone, because what was the point? We were two weird, misfit, outcast girls that wished to be boys, but weren't. Sometime a year ago, I saw my first female-to-male transgender video on YouTube. It was about a guy named Skylar Kurgil. He was born female, but with the help of hormone replacement therapy and surgery to remove his breast tissue, he was able to become the boy he always wished. I never thought much of it at this time. I was dating Zarima at the time, and I had learned to be more comfortable with my body than I had ever been before, at least to some extent. She had unintentionally closeted who I was, though. At the beginning of our relationship, I would take pictures of myself and send them to her saying, "Haha, look, I look like an attractive guy." And she eventually told me to stop, that I was beautiful and she loved me as a girl. So I stopped, because of my relationship with her, I was willing to drop anything to make her happy. I loved her more than what was good for me. So I pushed away the transition videos, labeled them interesting, and continued my life as a girl. Continued my life as a bisexual girl dating another girl. I went to formal with Zarima that year. With her help, I got a vest and tie and a men's dress shirt to wear to take her to formal. Again, my confidence skyrocketed. On our 8-month anniversary, I borrowed suspenders and a bow tie from a friend and surprised Zarima wearing them. Another confidence boost. Zarima and my relationship ended with a bang. It wasn't pleasant in the least. My self-esteem plummeted, and so did my confidence in my body. I was confident in my body only because she loved it. It was always a false sense of appreciation for what I had. It never felt like my body belonged to me. I had breasts because I was biologically female, but I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't want to do anything with them. They were just there, and I figured that I was stuck with them. I hated my legs. Always have. I wear pants everywhere, year-round, unless I'm sleeping or generally at home. I always felt like my legs were fatter than what they were. They never felt like they belonged to me, per se. So I hid them behind my jeans, saying that the heat didn't bother me because I had to wear pants for field work. I tried to go out with a guy named Daniel then, and this was just a while ago. We went on 2 dates, and he embodied everything I said I wanted in someone. He was funny, he was smart, he was the perfect gentleman. Again, he was everything I said I wanted in someone after the horrendous ending of my previous relationship, but something wasn't right about it all. We kissed on the first date, but I wasn't really feeling it. I felt awkward the entire time, and I just shrugged that off as I'm an awkward person. Frankly, when he asked me on the date, I thought it odd he would even think that I was attractive. It baffled me the entire time we were on both dates. How could such a good-looking, intelligent guy find me attractive, was what I was thinking. I looked like a guy. Wouldn't that be awkward for him? He paid for all the meals we had. He cooked. He bought me a souvenir from Disney after we had only gone on one date. He bought me a book I had been waiting for my birthday. And I had no money to buy it, but he bought it for me. As a surprise. I couldn't handle being spoiled like that. I'm not sure if it was that I didn't think I deserved it, or just that it all still didn't feel right. So I felt bad that I didn't have the same feelings he was having throughout it all. May 25th, 2015, my friend Aurora came out as female-to-male transgender and is now going by male pronouns and the name Nick. I watched his coming out video and snapped out of everything I had been thinking. I went back and looked at the transgender videos I had seen a year previous and continued to look up information about it all. I looked up tons of videos of how people knew they were transgender and other videos on how to tell if you're transgender made by different gender therapists. I messaged Nick and asked how he knew he was transgender and expressed to him that I was having questions about my own gender identity. After a lot of research and contemplation in the past month, I've reached a conclusion. Though I have many doubts and fears, my conclusion is the same each night. I want to be a guy. I've always wanted to be a guy, since I was young. And now I realize that I have the choice to transition into the guy I always wished to be. I have the choice to become the guy who walked around campus without any worries and more confidence than he knew what to do with. Before, I never knew that it was something that I could do. I thought I was stuck in the body I was given. Thought I was stuck with the breast and the female gender stereotypes that I never felt that I could stick with. Stuck feeling unattractive and wishing to be the other gender. Stuck feeling unwelcome in the girls' bathroom and afraid to go in public places with any gender-specific bathrooms. And I was willing to deal with it. I didn't love life like I wish I could, like others did. But what kept me alive was my love for my family and my story ideas that I hope to publish one day. But now I see the man I am, the man I always wished I could be, the man who loves his family just as much, who loves the right, and most importantly, loves life. What I'm getting here, Mom, is that I'm transgender. I'm biologically born female, but I feel like a guy and have always wished to be a guy. This off feeling, this discomfort with myself that I have explained in the long narrative is something called dysphoria. Something that the majority of transgender people have to deal with. Dysphoria can be a feeling of discomfort, pain, feeling off, etc., with your body or between your mind and body. Luckily, I don't let my dysphoria bother me as much as it bothers some people. It does not cause pain. It just makes me see myself as unappealing. I feel missed with my body. I feel awkward. And for the longest time, I kid myself into thinking that I was okay with that. That I could live with that. And I can live with that. I could continue living life as a girl. But the fact is, I don't want to continue living as a girl. I want to live the life I've always wished for. The life I know I could feel more comfortable living. 2 weeks ago, I started seeing a therapist about my gender identity in hopes to eventually get a letter for a prescription for testosterone, and then from there to get top surgery. But before getting testosterone, I must come out to everyone I know as the man I have always been, but never knew I could show to the world. And that starts with coming out to you, Mom. That starts with asking for your support and understanding in this journey. It starts with my haircut, which is a lot shorter, a lot more masculine, with a binder, which is used to safely compress breast tissue to make it look like I have a flat chest. That's something I hope that I can get Lori and Dad to buy me, or if you're willing, if you have any money to get me. It starts with the purchasing of boys' clothes and the changing of my name, and the use of male pronouns he, his, him when people are referring to me. And I want to say that just because I identify as transgender and I identify as male does not mean that I will change as a person. I will always be the same person. I will always be your child, and I will always love you. I'll have the same stupid and goofy sense of humor. I'll just be more confident in all that I do. I'll just be more myself. And I do not believe that if there is a God up there, that he made me wrong. I think that his intentions would be for me to go through this journey for strength. Because it'll be a long, tough journey. And it'll be worth it. I'm not broken. I'm not mentally ill. I'm just me. I'm your child. And so, Mom, I ask you again for your love and support and understanding throughout all of this. I'm willing to answer any questions you might have. And most importantly, Mom, I love you. And that's never going to change.